All right, so I've been going through one of the latest Integrity Commission reports. This report had to do with allegations of building irregularities at a development taking place in Wycliffe Close in the Beverly Hills area. It's being carried out by a company called Estatebridge that has been linked to Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Going to continue going through the report in this video and also the responses from the directors of Estatebridge as well as Prime Minister Holness. I'm Dionne Jackson-Miller. Thanks for being here. Stay tuned. The director concludes that the requisite planning approval and building permit required for construction of a development consisting of 4 two-bedroom units at 2 Wycliffe Close were properly issued by the KSAMC to Estatebridge on July 12, 2021. The director finds that the terms and conditions of the building permit were breached. The director's conclusion is premised on the fact that at the time of the director's first inspection, the development consisted of 4 four-bedroom townhouses instead of 4 two-bedroom townhouses as approved. The director finds in failing to comply with the terms and conditions of the building permit, Section 17(1) of the Building Act was breached. The director concludes that the inconsistent representation made by Mrs. Brown and Nesbeth in respect of the layout and composition of the development were blatant attempts to mislead the Commission. The director's conclusion is premised on the following. A. Mr. Brown indicated in a witness statement which he signed and in respect of which he made a declaration of truth that the development consisted of 4 four-bedroom townhouses. This statement was made at a time when the director was not investigating any breaches of the building permit issued to Estatebridge and under circumstances where Mr. Brown was not a suspect. Mr. Brown later made contrary representations in a judge's rules interview convened on October 31, 2024, after he had been informed that the director was investigating alleged breaches of the Building Act and the reference permit and that he was a suspect. Mr. Nesbeth's contemporaneous verbal statement to the director's investigators on June 12, 2024, that there were departures from the building permit issued by the KSAMC and that efforts were being made to remedy the breaches. He later denied making the statement, and the director's inspection on July 12, 2024, revealed that the development as constructed consisted of 4 four-bedroom townhouses. The director's findings are consistent with Mr. Brown's indication on December 4, 2023 as to the number of bedrooms contained in the development. The director therefore further concludes that the breaches identified were deliberate. The director's conclusion is made on the basis that at least one director, Mr. Norman Brown, had knowledge before December 4, 2023, when he gave a statement to the Commission that the development consisted of 4 four-bedroom townhouses. It is to be noted that Mr. Brown himself stated that he has a supervisory function in relation to the development. Ms. Anderson indicated that Mr. Brown is the director generally responsible for Estatebridge's business operations. The director also finds that Mr. Nesbeth either conspired with or aided and abetted the directors of Estatebridge in the commission of the breach and is thereby equally liable. The director's conclusion is because of Mr. Nesbeth's role as contractor, it's reasonable to infer that he must have been cognizant of the terms and conditions of the permit granted by the KSAMC. Furthermore, Mr. Nesbeth's company is party to a construction contract with Estatebridge, which requires him as contractor to construct the development in accordance with the permit. The director concludes that KSAMC failed in their duty to ensure compliance with terms and conditions of the building permit issued to Estatebridge for the development. Though their paperwork suggests that the development was compliant at all stages, the director's inspections of the development belie this. Recommendations. The director recommends that the Chief Executive Officer of the KSAMC implements additional measures to ensure adherence to the Building Act. The director recommends that KSAMC conduct an administrative review of its existing compliance regime with respect to building permits issued. Given the breaches identified, the director recommends that the KSAMC make its own assessment and thereafter takes any action necessary and appropriate to achieve compliance with the Building Act. Notwithstanding Dr. Holness's connection to the development in question, having regard to the fact that the issues identified in this matter are similar to those identified by the director in one of his 2023 investigation reports, that's a report on 11 Charlemont Drive. The director reiterates the recommendations made generally in that report. In particular, that legislation be introduced to impose pecuniary penalties on developers who willfully violate building and development permits for financial gain, that profits attributable to breaches should be forfeited, and that developers should face debarment from planning and development approval for an appropriate time after a breach, and that there be collaboration and coordination between the Registrar of Titles, local authorities, and other entities to ensure that titles are not issued for developments which are constructed in breach of planning, building, and development permits. The director said he would ordinarily refer this matter to the DPP, but the DPP made a ruling in relation to the Charlemont matter that the report should be referred to the KSAMC. So having said that, Prime Minister Andrew Holness issued a statement to say he's concerned he's being targeted. He said he's not a director of the company, he's not a shareholder in Estatebridge, and he doesn't own the property. So he's puzzled why he's a subject of this report. He said he's been informed that the development has been inspected by KSAMC, which has confirmed that the number of rooms approved are the number of rooms constructed. He said based on the report, it's of grave concern that the investigators would ignore the statements given by the KSAMC, which is a competent authority, and also concerning that the investigators ignored the statements of the persons involved that explained the works being undertaken and went on to draw conclusions on construction work that was in progress. He said it seems more than coincidence that the report was submitted to Parliament a few days before the delivery of judgment of the Supreme Court in a matter in which he's seeking judicial review of another report of the Commission. He said the fact that a statutory entity would exercise its powers in such a way is troubling. He means the Integrity Commission. He said this transparent attempt to attack his reputation will not deter him from serving Jamaica, and he says he has asked his lawyers to review the report and provide further advice. The KSAMC, the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, also issued a statement. They said they acknowledged the report. They said they're still reviewing its findings, so they can't provide a detailed response yet, but they said they will have a meeting with the relevant officers and stakeholders to thoroughly examine the findings and recommendations. The directors of Estatebridge also issued a statement. They said they categorically reject the finding of the Integrity Commission that the development consisted of 4 bedrooms instead of 2. They said it was the subject of several investigations by the KSAMC, and at no time did the KSAMC observe a breach in the room count. They said it was confirmed by the KSAMC that the units consisted of 2 bedrooms. They said variations in size and reconfiguration of layout, which normally occur during construction and don't materially change the building footprint, were noted, and the necessary application is in process. They said the development is still under construction, and at the time of both unannounced visits of the Integrity Commission, they observed significant work being done to correct plumbing and other issues involving digging of walls and slabs to identify and reroute pipes. They said no valid conclusion could be drawn regarding rooms without observing final structural walls and the installation of doors and other amenities. They say they take note of the timing of the submission of this report to Parliament to coincide with Director Norman Brown's application for judicial review in the Supreme Court to challenge adverse comments and findings concerning himself and Estatebridge in another report of the Commission. They say this is yet another attempt to damage the reputation of the principals of the company, relying on hearsay, misrepresentation of facts, and spurious conclusions. They say the principals of the company are law-abiding citizens who give yeoman service to Jamaica and will not be deterred by baseless allegations and bureaucratic outreach of an organization that is not the competent authority. Okay, there you have it. So I've gone through the report and you've heard the responses as well. This particular story obviously is not yet over, but we continue to follow it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Dionne. I'll see you next time.